It is time for our motivation segment. And of course, it is going to be a very interesting one. Last week, we started a trauma series, let me put it so. And this week, once again, we are going to continue on that one. And today, we are joined by Jella Grace Emmanuel, once again, the delectable. She's in the studio. She's also known as the Soul Doctor. Now, she helps trauma victims and the broken and emotionally wounded to heal and also to reinvent themselves. Now, today, we have a very interesting topic. We're going to be talking about, oh, by the way, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And looking good as usual.
Thank you very
Today,
much.
we're talking about relational, did I get that right?
Intelligence.
Relational intelligence. Initially, I thought I got that wrong. So I was like, when you came in, I had to make sure. Relational intelligence. I'm sure I, as well as our viewers, need some clarification on what relational intelligence means.
Thank you very much. The truth is, like I said last week, we are tripartite, but we have a spirit, we have a soul, and we live in the body. And we are created to relate with one another. Nobody can thrive in isolation, right? And the fact that relationship is supposed to be a blessing, it's supposed to be something that helps us to be a better version of ourselves. A lot of people have also been sort of destroyed, in quotes, because of relationships. So you will see the pain, the trauma, the negative experiences we have is because you got into a particular relationship. And when I'm talking about relationship, I don't mean just romantic relationship alone. We have different levels of relationship. We have the family relationship, we have acquaintanceship, we have friendship, and then we have the romantic relationship.
Ah, it's interesting.
So understanding how to manage the particular relationships that you are in is relational intelligence. Understanding that I should not call an acquaintance a friend, or I should not make a friend an acquaintance is relational intelligence.
How many of us know those boundaries? How many of us are aware that these boundaries are something to actually consider before even uttering out and saying, you're my friend, or you're my man?
Absolutely.
Because that goes a long way to how we react to their actions or vice versa. So we don't know that. And I have a question to ask regarding friendships and how we relate inside of friendships. In friendships, we demand from our partners or our friends or individuals certain emotions. And when we don't get them back, do you define, is that a friendship? Does that be, what's that?
So the fact is, like I said, relational intelligence actually starts with you. Because the reflection of yourself is found in the relationships you have around you. Sometimes a lot of people, they project their inadequacies on other people, especially if it's someone that's been through trauma, right? So you've not healed and you're bleeding on the people around you. So you automatically read meaning into everything people do. And it's difficult for people to relate with you because you seem to always have, there's always something wrong with everybody. And not trying to stop and say, okay, maybe me, because if you can't give what you don't have. So if you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself, I normally ask people this question, that if you are not you, will you be your friend? You know, knowing you, will you actually be your friend? Will you love to be, you know? So it starts with you, knowing you, understanding you, saying that if you have any issues, constantly investing in personal development. Now, every relationships require investment. It's like you want to make a financial investment. You're going to think, you're going to do your due diligence. Maybe you will start small. You will put a few thousands in and then you will start increasing it. Sometimes part of the mistakes we make in relationship is we become too vulnerable quickly. So I usually talk about 7 common relationship mistakes. One of them is lack of capacity assessment as well. You meet somebody and in your mind, you quickly tell yourself, this person should do this for me, this person should do that for me, this person should be able to do this for me. And then you have this irrational expectation.
Yeah, it sounds like an office relationship. You know, like, you expect people to do stuff for you without considering that there are other factors.
I tell people for a fact that nobody owes you anything. Like, just take it. Even if, yes, you are the mother, right? That's your son. You sent that child to school. Excuse me, they still don't owe you. So I've heard people say, someone said to me, oh, my child, once she finishes school, she becomes a doctor, she must give me her first salary. How is that child supposed to survive for that first month, right? So everything people do for us is a privilege. You know, I've had sometimes people say to me, I called you, you didn't pick. And I'm like, yes, it's my phone, right? And maybe I'm busy. Because we go about with this entitlement mentality and we're using it to destroy relationship in our lives that's supposed to be a blessing to us. So understanding that, I think, is really, really crucial, because irrational expectations will lead to unmet expectations, and that will cause conflicts in relationships.
Wow. Very interesting. There was something you said that I found very interesting as well. Will I want to be my friend?
Yep.
If I, you know,
If you were
knowing
you.
me, would I want to be my friend? It's something everybody has to think about. And I think that that level of introspection is quite deep and very revealing if you're absolutely honest with yourself. Now, let's talk about relationships, but let's cross carpet. Let's transverse one kind of relationship into the other. Can I carry trauma, or can I carry nuances from one kind of relationship, let's say a father-son relationship, into a husband and wife relationship? Is it possible? Does that happen?
Yeah, actually, it's very common. So people tend to unconsciously look for someone that is like their father or their mother. So the lady would be saying, oh, especially if your father is not a good example that you saw growing up, say, I don't want to marry a man like my dad, but then you end up marrying a man like your dad. Sometimes in the good way, you will see the daughter saying, oh, I mean, one of my friends, the daughter said to him, he said, Dad, I really want a man like you, because you tend to do it subconsciously because that's what you're used to. Now, the flip side of it is sometimes when it is the negative example you have, right, and then you get married, you're expecting that man to be your father. So maybe your father used to treat you in a certain way, used to do some things for you. You put that pressure on that man, wanting that, but that man is not your dad. And that woman is not your mother, because your mother did X, Y, Z for your dad, or your mother treated you in a particular way. Doesn't mean that this woman you have married is your mother. She's not your mother. So you need to remove that mindset from your mind and begin to know, who is this person? Why are they in my life? Why am I in their life?
How easy is that, and how long does that take? Because most people realize that they're already in that bad situation and harm has already been done. Your partner would want change like that.
Nothing changes overnight.
So how do both parties come to that realization that there might need time, there might need to be time, and also certain kind of reconditioning? Because it's something that you grew up with, perhaps, bringing it into your marriage now.
Yep.
Would it change like that? You've said no. So how do you manage that situation?
Yeah, I mean, change takes time. Change happens over time, you know, because the behaviors you're trying to come out from didn't just also happen overnight. So the first thing is, first of all, to be aware that there is a problem, because you cannot change something you haven't accepted. So once you're aware there's a problem, you've accepted that, look, the things we are doing is not, it's not nice. Like, yeah, there's a problem here.
Yeah.
Okay, accept there's a problem and then seek help. So I normally say seek professional help.
In your experience, even personal, did that help you?
Absolutely. I mean, I shared briefly last week that I had my own journey of when I went through years of abuse, and I was at the place where I was suicidal. I didn't want to live again, you know. I was frustrated, I was clinically depressed, you know, and all of that. And I had to come to a place where I told myself there is more to me than this. And I sought help, right? I went for coaching, I went for therapy, I went for counseling. I did everything I could do. I went through a process to heal and to reinvent myself.
But it healed you, but not your relationship.
No.
So is it okay for that to happen? Not all relationships are redeemable, is what you're saying.
Yes, because, I mean, in my own case, I was already out of the abusive marriage before I did all of that. I mean, thinking about it, there is absolutely no way I could have done that while I was there, because there was all the control and all of that was going on. So I was already divorced. It was after that I then went through that process, you know, of healing myself. And because I say to people that if you don't heal from what hurts you, you will bleed on the person that didn't hurt you. A lot of people are leaving one relationship and jumping into another relationship, and they are treating that person as if they're the person that hurts them subconsciously. And so they will keep repeating the same circle in every relationship they find themselves. You need to heal first.
I want to read your book. She got me a signed copy today, everybody. It's a signed copy, and I'm going to be reading this. Rise Above Your Past.
Yes.
Very interesting.
And I mean, the principles I shared in that book, they are principles that I personally went through to rise above my painful past. Because again, a lot of us, our past is holding us back from being the best version of ourselves.
Jola, we never have enough time.
I know
Could you and I sit down with a camera in front of us for 2 or 3 hours and just talk about trauma? Please, I would like that. But thank you once again for coming in on a Monday, taking out time from your busy schedule. Would love to see you again next week. please come back. Thank you, John.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Please, good to have you here.